Yo, so what's up, YouTube family? My wife and I, we've been on vacation in Barcelona for the past 4 days. Today's the last day of our trip. I'm really sad because the paella was great, the sangria was nice, the buildings that we saw were amazing. I got inspired by what we saw, and I got inspired also by an architect whose name is Antoni Gaudi. I had never really been familiar with his work until we got here and visited a lot of the popular tourist destinations out here. But we also, excuse the noise, it's rush hour on a Thursday morning, so sorry about that. But we stayed at an Airbnb down the street from an important destination called the Sagrada Familia, which is that building right there. It's something that I want to touch on in this video. But basically, the Sagrada Familia was one of the last places that Antoni Gaudi worked on up until the point of his death. It took him 40 years to architect. It's going to take 144 years to complete. Supposedly, it'll be completed, at least in terms of building it, in 2026. I might need to come back and check if it's completed by then. But whatever the case may be, I used to, and I still do, I used to question myself where the greats of the past got their inspiration from. And from what I learned, Antoni Gaudi was inspired by plants and natural environments. So he looked at things like honeycombs, animal skeletons, and he applied those things that he learned from those things into his works. So while he was working on the Sagrada Familia, he also worked on other smaller projects as well, and took those learnings from those smaller projects to his life's greatest work right here. If I can zoom in real quick, you can see those patterns right there were probably inspired by honeycombs. And these things right here, I'm not really sure. There's so much detail in this building. I'm not really sure where he got inspiration from. It seems crazy that one human being could work on something monolithic as this. But yeah, hopefully that inspires you guys as well. And if you weren't familiar with who Antoni Gaudi was, you look him up and look at the work that he did. Because for me, as a UX designer, it's just mind-blowing that one person could do something as amazing as the works that he created. But I know for designers like myself and designers nowadays, we think that success comes overnight a lot of times, and we have to remind ourselves that things take time. And we also look at things like social media and get inspired by other designers, but just learning from the greats of the past is always nice. To be reminded of the way that they approached their work is always great. And yeah, it's truly inspiring to see the works of Antoni Gaudi. And yeah, hopefully you guys get the opportunity to come to Spain one day. And if you do, look at the buildings that he created. A couple of the places that we visited were Parque Güell. I think that's the way that you say it. And there's another place that we went to called Casa Mila. And if you Google some of the images from those places, it doesn't do it justice. You got to come see it in real life. So hope to see you guys soon. Peace and love.